Hey guys, how's it going? This is Sasha. Um, I'm just here to talk a little bit about the new album, because I know some of you. Oh, wow. Jeez. Get phone calls. I never get phone calls, and as soon as I start recording a video, somebody decides to call me. Anyway, yeah, so I'm here to talk about the new album by me. My new project is called Lighthouse Operator. The old one was called Memory Collector, but this is kind of a new direction I'm going in. I'm trying to use more live instruments, and the main difference is the inclusion of vocals, which I haven't really had much of on any of the previous albums. And it was something that people always asked of me. I would release music in the past, and they would say, "Oh, this is awesome. You should add some vocals to it." And every time I'd see that, I'd just be like, "Oh man, yeah, I'm not very good at writing vocals, unfortunately, or writing lyrics rather." And it's kind of true. I mean, at the time, years ago when I first started writing music, I was lucky enough to be able to pick up just the general playing and singing pretty quickly, and it was easy for me to learn new songs. I mean, I can learn most songs really quickly, depending on how complex they are, of course. But writing lyrics was just never my specialty, honestly. Tried to in the past, and occasionally I'd come up with some decent lyrics that I thought were decent. Most of the stuff I wrote sounded stupid to me, after listening to it, so I just completely scrapped it. But yeah, I started writing some lyrics, and even the good ones, I could not come up with a good melody for the vocals for some reason. I don't know, I just really had a really hard time with that, because I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to say in the music. I didn't know really what to write about a lot of the time. And I thought that a lot of the songs I did manage to write were just too childish, or I don't know, or they just didn't really pop out as being all that worthwhile of sharing, so I just never made them into songs. But for this album, I really tried a different method to try and unlock my lyric writing abilities. I basically looked at artists like Tom York. I'm going to check my camera actually real quick to make sure it's still recording. Okay, good. Yeah, my camera randomly stops recording sometimes, so just checking. Yeah, so I looked at artists like Tom York of Radiohead, who, experienced writer's block for long periods of time, and I looked at what they did to kind of overcome that or work around it. I started just writing down any line that came to mind, like keeping track of it anywhere I could. Like, I'd write them in my phone. I'd write them down on old receipts I had in my coat pocket, or on like old scrap paper at work. So I would just come home sometimes with like a couple different pockets worth of lyrics that I had written down. Kind of condensed them all into one thing, started grouping them by subject matter and feelings and things like that. Then I just kind of started trying to write the first initial songs, and it really came together a lot better than I thought it would. Now, some of the songs I wrote just like straight through. I mean, I had a really specific idea in mind. Once I got into that mindset, I knew exactly what I wanted to write about, or close to what I wanted to write about. But basically, yeah, once I got into it, it became pretty easy to do, and it was a really awesome like breakthrough for me because I never thought I'd be able to write music or write lyrics that I thought were good enough on top of writing a good melody for the vocals. So um, working with the band that I'm in, you may have heard of them, probably not, but we're called For Cowboy, and it's an international music project where we basically collaborate online and write music online. So, but I've been working with them for a few years, and I'm their vocalist. So, most of the time they will write the melodies for the lyrics. I'll kind of make a couple changes or suggestions here and there, but they do most of the, pretty much all the songwriting, and I'm just the voice. Though I'd like to consider myself a valuable member of the group. But yeah, they've really helped me to be able to write songs of my own, because at times they've wanted me to come up with my own vocal melodies, and I don't know, somehow working with another band, and just working with people in general over time, it's kind of taught me that, sometimes you might come up with something and you write something that somebody won't end up liking, and, that just happens. But I mean, a lot of the times people will be impressed by what you might think are very simple musical conventions, or they'll just be, you'll come up with something on the spot and they'll just be, they'll think it's really, really good when you just kind of like improvised it. So I kind of just tried to get the idea out of my head that I would be, writing things that sounded dumb or whatever. I tried to kind of take the judgmental factor out of the music and just do what felt right. And through that I learned to not be, so judgmental of my own work, and just kind of let other people experience it and give you feedback on it. And that has definitely happened through having this band, and if not for that, I don't know if I would have been able to write these songs. So it's pretty nice, actually. The camera's still going, so I guess I'm gonna keep this take, even though I've gotten way just off topic. So I didn't really talk anything about, I didn't really give any sort of introduction at all. This was a poorly structured video. No, I didn't really plan I never plan these videos, so it's just me rambling on for like 20 minutes. But, maybe you like me, maybe you don't, so whatever. Yeah, so to kind of get back to the main point that I wanted to express is that I pretty much wrote this album for my YouTube fans, more or less. I mean, of course I got something out of it. It was a great experience for me, and now that I've completed it, I feel really good about it. But, and it was a worthwhile, like, artistic pursuit for me, of course. It's kind of like set the path for better things to come, I hope. But, yeah, it was for the fans. They always wanted, or you guys, you always wanted me to write some vocals. So I have done that, and I've stayed within the bounds of the typical music that you guys seem to like mostly Modest Mouse, Radiohead, who else? I mean, I guess a lot of people, it's funny to look at the metrics and the analytics for having a YouTube channel, because you can see, you know, detailed information about who's watching your videos, you know, where you got subscribers from. There's really a lot to it, and a lot you can use for you know, potential marketing purposes. Not that I really do any sort of marketing other than the occasional like experimental Facebook ad or something, but what was I gonna say? I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, well, basically, you know, I've gained subscribers from a few core videos. I mean, a lot of my videos have gotten me a few subscribers here and there, but there's a few select videos that have gotten me most of them, and the bands pertaining to those videos are mostly, you know, as I said, Modest Mouse, Radiohead, and wow, what can't I think of the other ones? The National, I know that would be one of them. The Smiths, and probably Interpol, weirdly enough. But I feel like the music from this new album kind of, well, it definitely fits into that realm. It's a little different. I was really specifically going for the sound of the old Modest Mouse albums, such as Building Nothing Out of Something, Everywhere in His Nasty Parlor Tricks, especially, and even going up toward like Moon and Antarctica. Not saying that my, you know, skill or quality is anywhere close to that at this point. Moon and Antarctica is like, you know, I consider that more or less like a masterpiece album. But nevertheless, I think this was a pretty good attempt for my first try. It's an 8-track album, as you may know, and it has a pretty good sonic variety, so it's not just like all loud tracks or all ambient tracks. It's got a nice variety, pulls from a lot of different influences of mine, a lot of different styles that I enjoy, and what else can I say about it? Well, yeah, I mean, and it still kind of stays true to my formula, because I had half of the tracks mastered by my band member who lives in Russia. He did a few of them. Maybe, how many did he do? He mastered, I believe, 4 of my tracks, and then I mastered the other 4, so it was a nice even split. It kind of draws on that collaborative aspect of my personality, where, you know, I like to get multiple people involved in my projects if I can, and I like to get involved in other people's projects when I can and when it's like suitable. But not only that, but my brother actually wrote the lyrics for the last song in this album, Beyond the Horizon. He wrote some nice lyrics, and I kind of rearranged them and added a couple lines, and but I think that was one of the cooler songs on the album, actually. And also, as for staying to the memory collector formula, we'll call it, you know, I have just a regular acoustic track on there, track 7. It's just, you know, basically a recording exactly as I would record it for YouTube, you know. I didn't really change much about it. I just kind of played it, you know, did maybe 1 or 2 trials, and took the first or second one, depending on which one sounded better, mastered it as well as I could for, you know, this purpose, and that's what it is. So so yeah, that kind of has it pays a homage to my YouTube experience and stuff like that. That's kind of how I looked at it, at least. But yeah, I hope you will check the album out. It's available at my Bandcamp page, lighthouseoperator.bandcamp.com. I'm sure the link is somewhere on this video or in the description. Um, I hope you'll check it out, and of course I have it on YouTube for free streaming, as usual. I have all of my previous albums on there, on my channel. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to hear more of. And just, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, because it's working, in a sense. No, but seriously, every day I get at least a couple comments on YouTube videos, and to famous YouTubers that might not seem like a huge amount, but to me, for me to be getting daily positive feedback has really been a good driving force for my projects and stuff. So it definitely is cool to have, and I'm glad for that reason that I started a YouTube channel. It gives me a lot of mental support and it's something that I can kind of treat as like a habit, like a daily thing that I check or interact with, just to kind of establish a routine of sorts and keep me sane in a way. Something to occupy the time, basically. But yeah, it's definitely been a worthwhile experience, and I appreciate genuinely the people who have, constantly commented on stuff, and even just the people who, leave one comment on a video, one nice comment. I mean, it can really mean the difference between a good and a bad day for me, just to see a nice comment on there, and suddenly my spirits are lifted, and it just makes me smile, I guess. But yeah, thank you for that, and I hope that this content will continue to improve, and I'll try to upload as much as I can, but I have a young son who is going to be 2, so I don't really have all that much time to do anything anymore between this and my full-time job and working with the band. It's really limited time, so I'll try to be active, and yeah, that's all I can say about that. But thanks for watching this video. If you made it to the end, congratulations. Like, I don't even know how you did it, honestly. The most boring, monotonous voice in the world. But yeah, so I guess that's it. Peace, yo.